One of the things that Yatsu said when he was here is he said, Brian, this is the most important struggle of our lifetimes, maybe of humanity, is to keep the metaverse open as opposed to closed. And Yat is not a guy to say things that he doesn't mean. And he said, that probably the only serious thing he said on the show was, we need to fight for this open metaverse because it really is our very future, our very human existence. Do you believe that this is as serious of a fight as that? And do you believe that the jury's not out as of where we're going to win it or not and keep it open?
I I couldn't agree 100% more than that. Like, if I was, we need to be vocal, we need to be supportive, we need to be understanding like what we're doing here, beside all the style of Web3. What Web3 is ultimately about is about being community driven and allowing users to pushing through this new digital paradigm shift where users can own their identity and their assets. It will be so easy to just be complacent with Web 2, just go back to the easiness of how everything can be done by a blink of an eye. And you close your eyes on a lot of like data privacy and other aspects and let them run. Yes. And so, because more and more people become aware and adhere, become part of this Web3 movement, including, and that's surprising, many of the Apple and Google and Facebook employees now are flowing into those Web3 companies, the change can come. And it's a very friendly, very passive, pacific revolution, I think, in a way, but it's one important to fight for if we believe that our kids and the next generation should have those rights online to own their digital assets, that they should value, as they already value their digital asset more sometimes than physical asset. And it's important to fight for.
Yeah, I think it's also important to fight for your choice of that virtual experience. And just I'll make one last point and then I want to dive deep into Sandbox. But I had a guest on recently who said, Brian, do you know that they did studies on humans where they slightly changed the Facebook news feed of articles, and they could make someone get angry or sad based on those stories. And apparently there's been studies on this. And he said, okay, that's a news feed. Imagine a virtual world where like little things could be happening. And I keep thinking maybe there's a honking horn in the background over and over again. Maybe there's negative, who knows? Imagine just giving your entire experience over to an entity that, again, you just don't know what their motivations are. And that for me seems just something that we just need to be careful of and try to have open versions of that, because that seems about 1,000 times more dangerous than a news feed.
I think having human feelings, having human reaction to content is normal, and you get that into experience. Even watching a news feed is a form of experience. What's wrong is that it is actually an algorithm that is optimizing the content of the newsfeed based only on the thing you like, and that's it. So it's progressively removing you from part of the reality, or it's driving you into another reality, which might not be the reality for most. And that's what we've seen. It leads sometimes to political impact and more. Whereas I do believe like everyone into a world, the world is not programmatically changing all the time based on data driven, at least, well, so far, I don't know any technology capable of that. So we are living into an experience, and what makes each experience unique to us is also like how we play around it, but we're still in control, or how we interact with others at certain point of time, which might change, but then it's still much more driven by us than being driven by non-transparent algorithm owned by a private company, which you don't know if their interest is as aligned to protect you as a user or not.